What's up, fellas? Hope you're all doing well today. Today we will be talking about if switching to PC is worth it in 2021 and if I recommend it in my past experience. And we'll be going over the pros and cons, some of the details, some of the things that people overlook, and some of the things I wish people would have told me back then before I switched. So yeah, let's get right into it, shall we? First, let's talk about the price, which seems to be where people are concerned with the most, and rightfully so. Right now, I know money's a little hard to come by. A lot of people are not working. There's a lot of shortages in parts, PC parts, which can also add to the price. But I'm going to keep it kind of brief in this because it comes down to a personal choice, and you will have to figure that out. And depending on where you live, if you have a micro center near you, depending how much you are trying to spend from your pocket, depending how much you are willing to budget, or if you need to cut down on your budget, that's all going to factor into the price. So that's going to be up to your price, right? Of course, you can go crazy and build a beast of a rig if you're balling with no budget. I personally spent about $2,000 on my rig, which at that time was a lot of money. I had to save up for about 6 months, which I could have kept saving and went even bigger on my rig, but I just needed my rig as soon as possible. I started off with a i7 9700K and a 2060 Super, which at that time was great. Now I upgraded my graphics card to a 3070, so that's been great also. And I'm kind of happy with what I spent. I knew if I wanted to upgrade, I was going to upgrade to something that was going to be future proof and something that I was going to be able to use for other things rather than gaming, like making videos, writing scripts, coding, all the things I do on the side, filling out paperwork, all that good stuff. So yeah, fellas, the price is what you will have to decide, and you can set that budget as high or as low as you want. That is your choice. You don't have to buy every high-end part. You just don't. You don't have to buy, the 3070. You don't have to start with a 3090 Ti or, whatever the top of the line card is right now. You could really go really budget friendly and make something work for your current situation. And one thing I would say is that if you are upgrading, try to build a rig that's going to outperform the current gen at maybe a little less than double the price. And that to me is where you really get your buck's worth. If you're building a rig with $800 and it's going to perform under the current gen, I wouldn't suggest upgrading. That just wouldn't make sense for not only financially, but why would you spend, let's say you find a PS5 for retail at $600, why would you spend $1,000 and have less performance or equal performance to a PS5? Obviously, if you're going to use a PC for something else, and yeah, you can go ahead and pull that trigger, but I just wouldn't recommend it. If you're just going to be gaming, you got to look at how much gaming you're going to be doing. And also you got to look at the current gen, because the current gen right now, from what I've heard, you can get 120 hertz and they perform on par with like the current gen PC parts, even better for some cases for what you pay for. So that's something to definitely take into consideration thinking about making the switch. But yeah, I'm personally happy with what I paid for, because at the end of the day, I know I use my rig for just about anything, not just gaming, like making videos. I'm recording this right now on my PC. Obviously, you can't do that with a console. I watch YouTube, do homework, I make videos. I honestly just about anything. Now let's talk about the input. The input, it's also up to you what you want to play. I came from PS4, so I didn't stick to controller. I went straight to keyboard and mouse because I play mostly Call of Duty. If you know anything about FPS, it's always better to play with a keyboard and mouse. So I just straight went for the Switch. I didn't stick to controller, and it's been great. I've been on keyboard and mouse now for about a year. I like it. My game up a bit, It's comfortable. I thought it wasn't going to be comfortable. I was used to playing on the couch, on the chair, on my bed, laying down, with the controller. You can't really do that with a keyboard and mouse. You can, but it'll be really weird. And I don't know, see how you could do it. But, when I game, I'm not really trying to be laying down no more. I really want to get some wins, get some dubs. I'm on my desk. And that's how I roll now. But you could definitely plug in a controller, a mouse pad. You could plug in anything, man. If you're coming from console, obviously you're used to controller, but you can always stick to controller. I know a lot of big streamers like Nick Merckx, Swag, a bunch of those guys, like they play PC with controller. It's something you could totally do if you're used to aim assist, But if you want to get better, you always want to go for the keyboard and mouse just because it's going to make your game better. You're going to learn a new skill, and you're also going to have that advantage over controller players. If you play FPS games, that's what I'm mostly play. That's the angle that I'm talking about from. So yeah, but if you play like FIFA, NBA, I just don't see why you would build a PC for those games, but you can always, connect your controller. So yeah, for the input, guys, yeah, you could basically do same thing as console, but I recommend getting a desk and getting yourself a nice keyboard and mouse. It's definitely worth it. Now, the big selling point, that the one that brought me into PC gaming, was the frames, the FPS. At the time where I switched, I was playing Fortnite, and I would see all these guys playing on YouTube, and I'm like, damn, their game looks smooth. How do I get my game to play like that? I'll be watching people play with like 120 hertz. I didn't know at the time what that meant. To me, it was just numbers. And then like I'm like, how are these guys getting their game to run like that, looking like butter? And I was meanwhile playing on a PS4 at like 40 frames per second. So that's where I started doing research, and I'm like, hey, how do I get 120 hertz? How do I get 120 FPS? Came to find out I had to build a whole computer just to do that. So that's kind of what drew me into the PC gaming space. And yeah, I mean, it's obviously you're going to get better frames, better resolutions. That's going to be depending on the components that you buy. So this is why I'm saying, if you're going to go all out, you're going to get the best experience. But I'm hearing that the current gen also gives you that 120 hertz at good resolution. So that might be something you want to look into. I would say you got to get the best bang for your buck. It's kind of the rule that I go with. And yeah, but with PC, you're always going to get the best FPS, high frames, the FOV slider, which I know a lot of people are complaining on the FOV slider in Warzone. So you might want to think about that too. That's something you don't have to be waiting on for developers to put into your game. That's been on there since Modern Warfare 2019, and people are barely finding out about an FOV slider. That's just one of the advantages that you get on PC, not just the frames, the resolution, but also the FOV. It's just, the list goes on and on. And the game library, now let's talk about the game library. The game library, I mean, it's obviously, I think everybody knows by now that PC probably has the base game library in terms of platforms, and then a lot of Xbox exclusives and PlayStation exclusives are coming over. So I know there's not really much to talk about there. You're pretty much going to get any game under the sun in PC. So everybody who comes and tells you that the game library is, very limited, it doesn't know what they're talking about. Definitely do some research there, like for the games that you like to play, and always, take into consideration that a lot of these platforms are porting these games over to PC. So, and I would say in a couple years, there might be no need for, PlayStation exclusives, Xbox exclusives. They all might be all those games are coming to PC. So I really don't see that as a pro for, consoles no more. It's really an outdated model, in my opinion, to have exclusives. But it just shows you that the markets are moving the other way, and it's becoming more of a united thing. So, okay, you just don't know. Spider-Man, God of War, all these games might be coming to PC soon. Halo's already on PC. But, you get what I'm saying. So, yeah, guys, that's going to be it. I kept it really simple for the sole fact of, when I was looking up videos like this, they will all be so complicated, and they would just end up confusing me, and I would just end up like confused as hell, and I wouldn't know if it was worth it or not. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're gonna spend a good amount of money, it's definitely worth it. If you're gonna spend under the amount that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I wouldn't suggest it. I would suggest going with a current gen console for now. But if you do want to upgrade and you have the option of going with a current gen or a PC, I would definitely keep saving and go for the PC. Wait for the PC components to be back in stock and buy them at retail. Do not buy them from scalpers. Definitely don't support scalpers, because you're going to get ripped off, and then you're going to give them another incentive to keep scalping. Definitely don't support scalpers on both sides. So definitely try to get all those components or your current gen system at retail. And that's the standpoint that I'm talking from. And yeah, that's the only way I would see upgrading to PC that will be worth it. But yeah, I would say it's absolutely worth it. I mentioned all those pros. You could go ahead and do some more research if you want. I didn't want to make this video too complicated. And yeah, definitely switch, fellas. Look, you will not regret it. I don't regret it. Honestly, it's the best gaming experience I've ever had, and I'm learning new things, and you just keep learning more and more as you keep going down this like PC gaming space. You learn about other things, not just about gaming. So yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for the video. Let me down in the comments down below if you're gonna be switching, if you're just gonna pass, or if you're gonna stick to current gen. Oh, hey, the Soulja Boy console is coming out. You might want to wait for that. Just kidding. That's all cap. I'm bugging. If you like, hit a like. If you dislike, you bugging out. I'm out, fellas. Peace.